I'm Maggie Berry, and my lab partner Isha is off swimming, but she'll be back shortly. Today we are going to be performing the Naming and Writing Formulas for Ionic Compounds lab. The purpose of this lab is to be able to observe compounds and to write their names and formulas. For the materials, you will need a pencil, paper, ruler, a reaction surface, chemicals shown in Figure A, and the chemicals shown in Figure B. The procedure is as follows. On a separate sheet of paper, draw two grids similar to the ones shown in Figure A. Make each square 2 centimeters on each side. Draw black X's on one of the grids. Use the other grid for observations and as a data table. Place the reaction surface over the grid with the black X's and add the chemicals as indicated in Figure A. For safety, do not consume the chemicals. Always wear your safety goggles. Pull back any loose clothing items, and if you don't follow these rules, you may end up like that.
So when we mixed AgNO3 and Na2CO3, we found that the color turned really milky immediately. And then when we mixed AgNO3 and Na3PO4, it turned like this yellowish kind of with
Mustard.
Yeah, mustard color. And then AgNO3 and NaOH turned brown / black or blackish, with little clear around the edges of the bubble.
Like a brown olive.
Yeah. And then AgNO3 and Na2SO4 remained clear. When we mixed PbNO3 and Na2CO3, it turned a really milky color, almost bleach, like bleach. And then when we mixed PbNO3 Na3PO4, it's still milky, but it's more translucent than the first one. Then when we mix PbNO3 and NaOH, it's similar to the first one. It's very milky and very white. And when we mix PbNO3 and Na2SO4, it's somewhat translucent with a little bit of white in it. When we mix CaCl2 and Na2CO3, it turned a milky white again. And when we mix CaCl2 and Na3PO4, it remained translucent. Then when we mix CaCl2 and NaOH, it became milky white like the first one. And then in the last one, when we mixed CaCl2 and Na2SO4, it remained clear.
The precipitates that formed were AgNO3 and Na2CO3. Also, AgNO3, Na3PO4. AgNO3 mixed with NaOH, PbNO3 mixed with Na2CO3,
when they reacted,
PbNO3 mixed with Na3PO4, PbNO3 mixed with NaOH, Na2SO4 mixed with PbNO3 CaCl2 mixed with Na2CO3.
It's very
CaCl2 mixed with NaOH, and those are our precipitates.
So when we mix the compounds in Figure B, we found that when FeCl3 mixed with Na2CO3, it performed an orange precipitate. When FeCl3 mixed with Na3PO4, it did not create a precipitate. However, there is a little bit of milky substance, which leaves us a little unclear. When FeCl3 mixed with NaOH, there was definitely a precipitate that formed. There is an orange precipitate, and it's a little cloudy. And then when FeCl3 mixed with Na2SO4, no precipitate was formed. When MgSO4 mixed with Na2CO3, no precipitate formed, and the result is still clear and transparent. When MgSO4 mixed with Na3PO4, a milky colored precipitate did form. When MgSO4 mixed with NaOH, no precipitates formed, but it does look like there's a little bit of cloudy substance floating around. And when MgSO4 mixed with Na2SO4,
no precipitate formed. Now when CuSO4 mixed with Na2CO3, a precipitate did form, and although it might be hard to see on the camera, there is a lighter or darker blue cloud floating at the top. And when Na3PO4 mixed with CuSO4, again a lighter milky substance formed at the top, meaning that a precipitate did form. Also, when CuSO4 mixed with NaOH, a dark blue precipitate formed on the top. And when CuSO4 mixed with Na2SO4, no precipitate formed.
The formulas and names for the compounds created in Table A are listed below. The ones with the stars did not form precipitates.
This is all the formulas from Part B. All the formulas which are starred did not form precipitates, and the one which has the circle next to it, we cannot tell whether a precipitate formed or not. In this lab, we learned how to write the formulas and names of ionic compounds.
We were confused on a couple of the mixtures as to whether they created a precipitate or not, and we notated that in our observations.
But overall, it went pretty well.